Hey guys, I'm using an infrared camera and a torch, to film me in the dark. So the infrared camera will pick it up, the torch is for me because I'm scared of the dark. Yeah. So here the horror stories go. Ready? Okay. Creak, creak, creak. The bench constantly complains as I strive to make my position comfortable. I become frightened as the evening becomes more maddening. Anxiety begins to take control of my body as I am left alone with the darkness of the twilight devouring me. There is not a living being in sight. I desperately wish to be freed from this uncanny atmosphere, but how could I? Here seems the only possible place to hide. After all, spending the remaining years of my life in a prison cell is the last thing on my mind. I glanced down at the left side of my chest, trying to examine the deep wound created by the broken wine bottle I fell upon not too long ago. I become inquisitive as to why I didn't die, but the uttermost pain I am racked with convinces me that I may soon. Unexpectedly, I hear the sound of several trees rustling against one another. I hear faint footsteps from afar. Could it be them? How could they have determined where I am? It is simply too unlooked for. I stand with the intention of beating a hasty retreat. I find the thickest fir tree and use it to conceal myself. I turn my head side to side and stay vigilant. I turn my head left. I turn my head right, and my eyes instantly widen in terror. Two of the leading officers emerge from the trees. They look suspicious as each of them walks in different directions, scrutinizing the ground to seek pieces of evidence. I stand still as a mannequin, hoping that they wouldn't see me. I hear one of them call at the top of his voice to the other, "Here! I think I found the criminal." Meanwhile, the second officer, Pierre, mends his way over to the other. I could see an appalling look on his face as he moved towards the officer's place. I'm startled to hear the most unexpected words from his mouth. "He's dead," he continues. "The glass formed a deadly gash there. There's no way he could have survived." I flamed with curiosity as I began to wonder who the mystery victim of death might be. I moved several of the branches before my face closely sees the events in my undisclosed presence. Suddenly, I see a van arriving with a stretcher. The area was starting to be dominated by people wearing protective clothing and innumerable officials. The body was hoisted onto a stretcher. It seemed to be that of a young male's. I tried to get a glimpse of him, but his resting face was turned, facing the other side. I recognized the black Volvo pulled over by the footpath of the cemetery. Its doors open, and I see a familiar man who seems to be slightly older than the dead one spring out of it. The sound of his yowl is deafening as he sweeps for the body. He crouches down by it and then begins to wail with intense grief. I immediately identified the man and his Volvo. It was It is my brother. Why is he here to mourn over this stranger's corpse? Who is he to who is he to him? Abruptly, officials shoved the branches from in front of my face. I become shocked to see them directly gaze at me. I realize that this is now the end. I would have to spend the rest of my life behind bars. I reach out my arms, expecting them to take me away, but I feel shocked to see this is not what happens. They fly by me as if I'm not even there. I turn as I assume they would make their way back for me, but they simply lose themselves in the trees. What is happening? I decided that I no longer need to disclose myself on the law. I craft my way through the trees and run to my brother. Where are you here? No, sorry. Why are you here? I question him. He doesn't reply. He continues to cry. I try to touch his shoulder, but I can't feel it. He can't feel me. I look at the corpse he was crying over. I am shocked to see my body on a stretcher. Something's not right, I tell myself. Something is not right. I yell to the countless people surrounding the body. I suddenly feel helpless and miserable. I realize that regardless of how many times I've tried to secrete myself, I have received its consequences. There is now no way to escape. Dead or alive, my life itself has been constrained behind its own bars. And that is the horror story. Thank you. Bye.